senior district leadership staff, administrators, community leaders, students, and staff. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak to you this evening. My name is Danielle Harrell, and I'm one of the school-based administrators within Arlington Public Schools. I am here today to talk to you about deconstructing and reconstructing the current grading for equity model. I have been in education about 27 years, and in that 27 years, I have devoted my entire life to giving voice to those historically marginalized populations. So when I accepted the position here in Arlington Public Schools, knowing that there is large diversity here and affluence, I thought that potentially the passion that I have for historically marginalized people and making sure that they get the things that they need would go unnoticed or go unserved. But as I became more familiar with the policy around grading for equity, I noticed that this is an area where that I could assist with making positive change for students. The reason why I'm looking at this policy is because Arlington Public Schools is known for their academic success. Our high schools tote a high school graduation rate of above 90% for decades. We have a student to teacher ratio that is about 13-1. We have about 140 nations that we serve in our student populations that speak about 90 different languages. But at the same time, 23% of those students receive free and reduced lunch. If we don't fully implement a grading for equity program that is consistent across schools and grade bands, we are going to negatively impact our students who are not a part of that population who is fully affluent. For example, I noticed that the state of Virginia is giving us broad guidance on exactly what grading for equity looks like. And the district has autonomy on how they can actually implement that, what it looks like in action. So here in Arlington Public Schools, we have had the autonomy at buildings to choose which parts of grading for equity we wanted to implement. Although that is fair, it doesn't provide us any consistency. It doesn't provide continuity in the implementation. It doesn't allow us to collect data to see if the goal of transitioning to grading for equity is truly benefiting the populations that we set out to benefit. So my goal is to first, when we think about if we continue to let it be implemented the way it's being implemented, there are often times where grades are inflated for effort or behavior or attendance, and that's not the goal of grading for equity. The goal of grading for equity is to ensure that we are grading student mastery on specific skills. We are not grading students who are pleasant. We are not grading students who are unpleasant. What we are doing is making sure that we keep the main thing the main thing. And the main thing in education is ensuring that all students have a rigorous education. So what I'm proposing is that we create a committee within the district of leaders, teachers, students, and families from all grade bands. This committee can be as large as it needs to be, because what we want to do is make sure that our community understands that we are doing this with them and not to them. So we develop the community. We develop the committee within our community. Then we look at all the different ways that we could implement grading for equity. We prioritize those things that are most important and could have the greatest impact for Arlington Public Schools. Once we choose those, then as a collective, we develop a timeline for implementation that includes benchmarks for success and measures for success. And we are meeting quarterly, collecting data to see if we are reaching those goals. And if not, we are modifying our behavior, but we are not changing course. After we have developed our our timeline for implementation. In that timeline, we are also developing a timeline for professional learning and a matrix for how we are actually measuring if the programming has been successful. So on the front end, there will be additional dollars spent for professional learning. But on the back end, because we are building the capacity of people, we are going to train the trainers. And in a train the trainer model, it is going to sustain itself. So the money that is spent on the front end will no longer have to be encumbered on the back end. I want to ensure that we as a district are able to implement grading for equity so that it truly benefits those who it was intended to benefit. Thank you so much.